Good afternoon. This is Robert Cornicelli, National President for Veterans for America First. And with me today, I have a former Green Beret, a brother Army man, John Frankman. He's running in Florida's first congressional district. I talk so fast because I'm from New York, but you want to know something? Um, I did a lot of research on you. You came well recommended to us, and I get excited about these things, and that's why I talk fast. This country is in some bad shape, and it needs warriors. And whether it's a man or a woman, I don't care, but they need warriors like you. And with that special forces tab, I know you're not going to take any gruff there. Um, we need you in there. You got to get rid of this guy Jimmy, and do what you did in the military. Be mission focused, bro, because we need you. So welcome.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Captain C, and for your guys' support.
Hey, you know, I say this often because we're always talking to our brothers and sisters. We're always talking to veterans that, they'll end saying, I'm honored to have the endorsement. No, we're honored to give you the endorsement. This is not something you should be honored to get. This is something that we should be honored to give. You have a great history. You've served your country. And you're not going there for power, for greed, for money, for infamy. You're going there because you're probably as sick and tired as I am of the direction this country's going.
Absolutely. And, I didn't plan on getting into politics. I was serving as a Special Forces Green Beret. My next assignment was to teach ethics at West Point, but I was forced out for not getting the COVID shot. That's what got me involved in politics. I started advocating for service members negatively impacted by the shot mandate, for accountability for the leaders who made our service members, our brothers and sisters' lives miserable, living hell. And I got involved in Veterans for Trump, trying to get him elected in 2024, how I got to meet him. So want to keep that work up for veterans, for pushing Trump's agenda, everything he ran on to make it happen. And right now, unfortunately, we just have a lot of Republicans who are just not getting the job done.
John, there are so many simple things we can do for veterans to make their lives easier. Uh, Look at the bill, TRICARE for Life, right? You're familiar with it.
Hmm.
It says TRICARE for life. It doesn't say TRICARE till you're 65. It says TRICARE for life. Congress can create their own health care for Congress. But at 65 years old, veterans, I'm not there yet, I'm 58, but at 65, you lose your TRICARE for life. You got to go to Medicare. And what happens
Hmm.
with Medicare? You got to pay premiums. Um, Simple thing is, it's the same pot of money coming from the taxpayer. Keep retired service members, keep 100% service connected service members on TRICARE for life. Why, when so I just moved my 85-year-old parents up here and they can't figure out what card to use when they go Medicare, insurance card, this and that. Why are you putting veterans through what do I have to use? Do I have to pay premiums? Stupid stuff like that is what makes veterans say, I just had it, man. These simple little things they can fix. You look at service dogs, right? That service dog should have a VA ID. Their healthcare should be taken care of. If a veteran needs a service dog because of the horror that they've seen, why aren't we taking care of that dog? Why aren't they getting a government ID just like that veteran? So when they step on a plane or they go into an amusement park, it's not somebody with a comfort peacock that keeps them emotionally
Right.
stable. This is serious stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I've been in the special operation community, so know some people who've suffered from some serious PTSD, have been severely wounded, in combat. I never deployed myself, but just go guys at some special forces group. But I know there are some treatments that have been very helpful for them. Why do they have to travel to Central or South America to get it? Why don't we make it available at the VA rather than putting on them on just addictive drugs or drugs that they have to be on for life that don't actually repair them, but still enrich the drug company. So we have more veterans in Florida's first district than anywhere else. It's the most veteran densely populated district in the country, 5 major military bases. That's one reason I'm so excited about representing this area because I love the veteran community, but it deserves better here. We don't have a VA hospital. We have 2 VA clinics. We need to get a hospital. We need greater access to community care. We need access to special treatments, and veterans need to understand what resources they have, not just through the government, but your federal office should be in touch with every single nonprofit organization that supports veterans, so that, the answer isn't always government. Most of the time, it isn't. But if you have those relationships, you can point people in the right direction. And for my predecessor to not have hired a veteran until I challenged him in the primary, I think that's shameful, and that's led to multiple veterans not getting the help they need. So one of my first hires when elected will be multiple veterans within the district office, so that they can assist veterans in making their claims, talk to service members, the different bases. But we just need to prioritize them, because unfortunately they don't make any majority in any district. So it's hard for them to really hold it over the head of their congressman. Hey, you need to do this.
Yeah, that's so well said, man. When service members, I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry about that.
All good, all good.
When service members are going through that TAP, that transition assistance program, they're taught how to open a business. I was taught how to open an SDVOB, Service Disabled Veteran Owned Business. It's so easy. But what if you want to get into grants and do good work with nonprofits? What if you want to get into government contracting? Do you know how difficult it is to apply for a federal contract, pro formas and projections, and it's impossible. So what do you think you do? You get your TAP program done, the people at the top who are saying we got to help them with transition out. But then once they get out, we could care less about you. There's absolutely no way, unless you're probably a guy like you, pretty much on the top of the pyramid for brains, but that someone could figure out how to apply for a federal grant or a federal contract. We have to do more, and the nonprofit way is the way. But if you start a nonprofit and say, I want to help veterans apply for federal contracts, you got to have 3 years of financials. You have to, so many hoops. We have to remove the obstacles and let veterans start helping veterans on the outside. So when the VA fails, and it's always going to fail, it's too big, we could step in and help.
Yeah.
And we don't want anything for it. But hurdles, obstacles, all the things that you've been trained to go through, we need to start removing them from the paths of veterans who are suffering and trying to reintegrate into the community.
Absolutely. We need to keep the veteran as the end user in mind, because they are the ones who served our country. They're the ones that have kept us free. So it's not some benefit extra thing that they're getting just because we like them. It's because they earned it. They deserve it. We need to give that to them. So we need to use the VA and whatever the federal government to the best extent to do that when they are the best answer. But when they're not the best answer, we need to work with the nonprofits to make sure that they're stepping in, filling in the blanks. Because a lot of times it's not the federal government, but it's something that we need to make sure happens, period.
Let the VA oversee, provide the oversight of not the nonprofits, but let the nonprofits work. There's less bureaucracy. USAID, we saw trillions of dollars going outside this country, right? What if we did this? This is a good idea for you. You know how they say the VA has VA loans, and they back. They back. So if you forfeit on your mortgage, the VA backs it. So the banks are pretty much protected.
Right.
But the interest rates are still high. Even with the rate break that veterans get, it's still too high. What if the government became the lender and said, you know what? We're just going to charge 2% interest on a veteran's mortgage. Now what happens? The veteran's not going to default. 2% is practically nothing. And even if they did at 2%, they would have at 4, 5, and 6% with a private lender. But why isn't the government using that same pot of money? Oh, and here's the thing. If the government lends me $600,000 to buy my house at 2%, they're making 2%. How is the public going to be upset that the government's lending money to veterans and getting it back at 2%? So
don't worry. They'll get upset. Somebody will get upset just because that's how people are. But it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, you're making money for the government, and more veterans get to have homes at a lesser rate. And now what are you doing? You're giving them that foundation to go out and say, okay, I don't have to worry so much about this. I may go get a job at Jiffy Lube, but I'm going to find another organization out there that's going to help upskill me. In South Carolina, there's an organization somewhere there that's going to say, we have Boeing, we have Volvo, we have Newport News, we have Dayton Shipbuilding, we have all these industries. Let the nonprofits upskill them and get them into those $100,000 a year jobs. But it starts with owning the home, having that foundation for your family. No better way than the government making 2% on a loan to a veteran who deserves.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you have some limits of like, hey, this is, your home, you're going to live here, maybe first home bought or something of that nature, just so it's not just guys, because I mean, I love the VA home loan. It's helped me to get established. It's helped me to get a couple of properties, some investment properties, right? But just making sure it's within bounds. But no, there's so many veterans who have trouble finding homes with veteran homelessness, with mental health and difficulties, but whatever steps we can take to assist them for sure.
It's all about ideas. It may get shot down. That idea may get shot down in a second. There may be something that makes it not legal. But we need more ideas. We need more community groups coming together and saying, what can we do? That might not be a great one. I think it is. But you were talking about someone going to Mexico for a drug, stem cell. Now they're doing stem cell intravenous.
Hmm.
It's not just on-site injection. It's found to be clearing up many, many ailments in the body. PRP. The VA now is
Right.
the VA is sending you out for PRP if you really need it. But human growth hormone, stem cell, these
Well, I think getting the hyperbaric chambers is
that's
huge
it.
with regards to yeah, I mean that's a huge thing that's helped a lot with PTSD. I know multiple guys, seventh groupers who've gotten ibogaine, other kind of those drugs, of the hallucinogens that have really cleared them up, that have helped out with whatever depression, addictions, PTSD, think clearly. And it's not something I want to take, right? But it's something that you offer to them, letting them know what are the pros, what are the cons. Are you sure you want to go with, you want to do this? Okay, go on ahead. And if it saves their lives, then we need to do it. Veteran suicide is just way too high. And we both know that we've lost way more service members through suicide than we did in both Afghanistan and Iraq combined, which is so sad.
Yeah, if there's an experimental drug out there that only the rich can use, these anti-aging things, PTSD and pain, there are two killers of veterans. If we can help with those two ailments, pain, you gotta and it's more in men. When you have a man who can't produce for his family because he's in pain 24 hours a day, can't go to work, can't do anything, can't mow the lawn, that's debilitating mentally.
Right.
You can get them out of pain and not put them on the narcotics, get them the stem cell, the PRP, all those types of things, and get them feeling good again. We're going to save lives.
Yeah, no, God made man out of the earth because we're supposed to work with the earth. We're supposed to work with our hands. We're supposed to produce things. We're supposed to be productive. And when you can't do that, oftentimes you lose your purpose. So to give that purpose back to the veteran, that huge, absolutely necessary.
Well, bro, I know you have a lot of other things to do. You're out there fighting hard, so I'm not going to keep you long. We are honored, John, to give you this endorsement. You are going to be an up and coming guy. Start talking to get a hold of that Brandon Gill. He's another young guy that's
Oh
just
yeah, he's great. I loved his abortion questions. Those were great. Want to
yeah.
do exactly that. Yeah.
And he smiles. He did something with Ayanna Presley was saying something the other day, and he's over there with that little smile of his, and she couldn't help it, like she had a laugh because he's just a great guy. But you'll be that same type of guy. I know it. We're going to follow you closely, and any help that you need from us, let me know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Captain C, and thanks so much, Veterans for America First. I am honored, even though you guys are honored to give it to me. I am honored, and I'm honored to do it on behalf of the veterans, all the veterans in the United States, but especially the veterans, the most veteran densely populated district in the country of Florida's first congressional district. So honored to be the fighter for veterans up in DC because I understand and know the difficulties that service members, veterans, and their families have gone through. So thank you so much.
Hey, man, it's our pleasure. Keep me posted. I want to follow you,
Absolutely.
right?
All right. Sounds good.
Take
God
care.
bless.
You too. God bless.